I am so excited because the Step Out TV shows are back live on T2I TV. And for those who don't know, Step Out is a series of interviews and motivational segments designed to bring the best out of you and your business. Therefore, we have the following TV programs. Our first TV program, which is our flagship program, dubbed Step Out with Oscar Bimpong, is designed to interview consultants, experts, talented people, and those doing exceptionally well in their communities. The second one is Step Out SME Focus. This is where we interview business owners and showcase their products and services. The third one is Step Out Youth Impact Zone. This is where we interview young people succeeding against all odds to serve as an inspiration to other young people. And the last one is Step Out Authors Corner. And this is where we interview authors to share what their book is about to the world. Join us every week. Like T2I TV on Facebook and subscribe to the YouTube channel. To advertise or for further information, do WhatsApp +44 759 1152 983 or +233 55 580 3924 or email info@traintoinspire.com. T2I TV, we engage, educate, enlighten, and empower.
Welcome to another edition of Step Out with Oscar Bimpong. And tonight is another opportunity for us to educate ourselves, for us to learn something new, or to be abreast with current trends and certain things that are happening on the continent of Africa in diaspora that are designed to help us to achieve our goals in life. And that is what the Step Out with Oscar Bimpong is all about. We interview experts, consultants, we interview talented people doing exceptionally well in their communities, and the idea is to help us to really shape ourselves in relation to the continent that we want to see. There is a saying that if you are not part of the solution, then you are part of the problem. This platform is designed to be part of the solution that the continent of Africa needs. And that is why we have put this platform. We have realized that a lot of our kind of education on the continent is based on what we call politics, entertainment, and sports, with little attention to knowledge-based discussions. And that is the reason why the Step Up brand is being designed in terms of helping young people and anybody that desires to learn to be part of this movement, where we are causing disruption in relation to a mindset revolution on the continent, and for us to really create a platform where we can learn together, grow together, and really work to envisage the Africa we want to see. And tonight is no exception. But before I go on to my guest, I want to mention a few of our sponsors. This program is sponsored by Train to Inspire Consultancy. That is your business training and consulting firm. Train to Inspire also works with second cycle institutions, colleges, and universities in relation to the personal development of students. Also, ALS Global Shipping and Logistics, your trusted import and export company based in Accra. ALS says it doesn't matter what you are going through at the port. Call them and they will sort you out. Also, ZPay Ghana Limited, your remittance and mobile money company based in Ghana. ZPay just launched their mobile money USSD code, and that is *270#. Just dial it on your phone and register for ZPay mobile money. If you want to contact any of our sponsors, their contact details are scrolling on the screen. take them and contact them. Also, if you want to sponsor any of our shows, take the number for T2I TV UK and also train to inspire for consultancy and contact us. We always say that a lot of small and medium enterprises cannot go to main media to really sponsor programs or advertise. But here, as a consultancy firm, we are going to give you a buy one, get one free. That is, we are going to grow with you, with your business, and we are going to make sure that your business is strategically positioned in the marketplace when you work with us. Also, if you want to support what we are doing, you want to be part of this movement, you want to really help us to really build this to the level where we become iconic on the continent and across the globe, just contact us and we are going to find a way that we are going to work with you. Your support can be anything. It can be your knowledge, it can be your resource, it can be your direction. And that is what we need. Take the number for T2I TV UK or Train to Inspire Consultancy, and we are going to work with you. For those that don't know me, my name is Oscar Mimpong, and I've been your regular host for the Step Out TV programs. And tonight is one of our flagship programs, that is the Step Out with Oscar Mimpong. Now, the question is, who do I have on the hot seat? I have known this man for so many years, and he is a person that you will love to be around. I always say that this man does not have negative energy around him. When you are with him, everything is all about the positivities of life. And tonight, I'm very honored to have him on the show. And we are going to talk about a topic that we just started as a discussion on Facebook, but the kind of reactions we had from the topic was very amazing, and all of us learned from it. So due to his contribution, I was like, look, you need to come on my show and let's kill this discussion once and for all. And who is this man that I'm talking about? He's a very simple man. He is a lecturer at the University of Ghana, and he is in a person of Dr. Isaac Wiafe. Please welcome to Step Out with Oscar Mimpong, and you are live on T2I TV UK.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. How has your day been?
Maybe you forgot to tell listeners that you were my mate at Tech.
Yes. I wanted to leave something out small for them to figure it out. and also from the same hall, the best hall, and that is the hall that has got the name university, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. Only two halls at KUST, University yes. Hall and another hall.
Exactly. Oh, somebody has really corrected me before I even start. He says he's a senior lecturer. That is okay. Thanks very much for your correction. Yes. Our topic for discussion: using successful African personalities and businesses as case studies for teaching. That is, we are going to look at the challenges, the prospects, and the future direction. Now, let's go straight to business. I always ask everybody this question before I go on to my first question. Who is Dr. Isaac Wiafe in your own ways?
Isaac Wiafe is a lecturer, like you said, at University of Ghana Computer Science Department. My research focus is mainly focused on something called persuasive technologies. That is using technology to change human behavior. So we design technology intentionally to change human behavior. Apart from that, yes, I don't have much to say. I'm married, happily married with 3 kids, strong boys who disturbs a lot. I think they learned it from me. So I'm not really worried. Yes, that's me. Yes,
wow,
that's
wow,
me.
wow.
Thank you.
Wow. That's simple and straightforward. Now let's go straight to business. Do we use successful African or Ghanaian stories as teaching examples within our educational system, especially at the tertiary level?
Okay, to start with, let me say yes, we do. We it's not as if we don't talk about Ghanaian stories. We don't talk about African stories at all. We do. But perhaps the question is, what are we talking about? We have situations where we will be talking about stories, right? For instance, in my class, I will use Ghanaian stories as examples. But then we have to be able to distinguish between just talking about a story and then having a case study. So perhaps that is where the issue is. But as for using Ghanaian stories, yes, we do. We talk about everything Ghanaian. We talk about what is going on in the news and bring examples from it and what have you. We do that. We do that from the primary school level. And I believe that when you were in school, you definitely had some Ghanaian stories in the classrooms.
Of course.
So we do that. Yes, we do that.
But is there
in terms of case studies?
But is there a difference between sharing a story and a case study for the ordinary person that is watching us?
Yes, there is. You see, if you are telling a story, you can give an everyday example about a Ghanaian business or a Ghanaian businessman who has been successful. Pick examples from some of the actions or inactions of that person, use it to make illustrations, and then you end it there. But then when we talk about case studies, in terms of case studies, it is a well-written document that has been studied as a research, and then we have the facts, and then we are able to extract part of those facts to teach. So there is a difference. It's a real-world situation. We are talking about a real-world situation, but then we should be able to have a documented evidence to actually prove that these things happen. It shouldn't be an issue of speculation. So that is where the challenge starts.
So who is supposed to document this?
Okay. It's kind of chicken and egg situation, but let's because I am in academia, so let me speak to favor my guys, right? So this is how the thing works. Someone needs to document it. Mostly these things are done by academics. So academics will write cases. There are a lot of publications out there that are cases. So you pick a case and then you explain and then you publish it. And you specifically design it for teaching. It goes through peer review. It's different from you designing your own teaching notes. So this one, it goes through peer review and it is accepted as a case that can be used to teach in the classroom on a particular topic. And the different versions of it are used for depending on the context of teaching and the content or the learning outcomes that you seek to achieve. So academics do this work. But then we also expect that people from the industry should also be able to write their stories, especially when you look at our context and our content. Then we expect them to be able to write their stories so that people can also pick extra from their stories and then use it to teach. So we cannot say that everything is supposed to come from the academic. Yes, academics are supposed to write these stories. They do write some of these stories. It's not all. Perhaps maybe we come to that later, but they do write these stories. But that whether they are writing enough is the other question.
But so who is supposed to educate who?
Everyone. We need it more. We within the teaching industry need these stories too. But you see, the challenge now starts. If I go to the classroom and I start talking about a Ghanaian entrepreneur, or I start talking about an African entrepreneur, there are some that the stories are there that I can use. The Dangotes and things like that, the stories are there, well documented. Different versions of how their businesses were successful. M-Pesa and stuff like that, the stories are there, how they were successful. But then if you pick any of this simple, or should I say simple? Let me come in context. Let me pick the story of, say, someone like Despite, right? I don't think I know more than you do know about Despite. All the things that we know would be the simple things that we hear from through the grapevine. So you cannot use that as a fact to teach in a classroom. It is more of a speculation. And as an academic, you cannot go to the classroom and you'll be speculating. Anytime you are speculating, you should let students know that this is a speculation. It's not based on facts. So if I come and I pick Dr. Pakwesi Indum, and I start talking about things about Dr. Pakwesi Indum, that is not research, that is not documented, and I'm using it to teach as a case and as facts, then there is a problem there. So someone needs to sit down and then write. But we understand that we are supposed to lead, but it is not easy leading. It's doing research is expensive, and there are so many things that come into the game. So that is where the problem starts from. How do we lead it? What motivates me to start talking about Pakwesi Indum? Those are the questions that we need to be asking.
So it's in two folds now. It's the academia have got a responsibility, and you are trying to say, for example, Pakwesi Indum has also got a responsibility, or despite.
Exactly.
Now let's look at it this way: that Pakwesi Indum does not know that such thing even exists if he can be used as a case study in the classroom, or despite does not know. Because, for example, despite does a lot of philanthropy, but I haven't seen him doing anything in academia. Now, whose responsibility is to bridge that gap for that enlightenment to be there? Because the reason why I'm asking this is that, for example, you did your studies in the UK, I did my studies in the UK. We know that the examples that we find in the classroom here are well documented. So why can't we start doing something similar?
The challenge is, you see, the discussion is there. It boils down to the same African story where we know the problems, we understand the challenges, but we stick to that particular book in the Bible, the book of Lamentations. We love to lament. We'll keep lamenting and lamenting and lamenting, and we never move on. So these discussions has been there. The bridge between academia and the industry has been seen to be one of the most important or most relevant things to happen. But then it is not happening. And that is where the worry starts. I can give examples, even though I will not mention companies because I don't think it's proper. But personally, I've taken it upon myself. There are situations where we had information, right? So you may even have a student in class, and then you are teaching a particular topic, and the student finds it very relevant, directly connected to his sector or her sector of the industry. And then he comes to you and say, look, I think this is a wonderful idea. I've learned something in class. I would want you to come and talk to my people so that we try and see if we can implement this. You will go to them and they are not ready to listen to you. The point is that the same African mindset, the person feels like you are talking to an ordinary black man who doesn't know anything. The concept is that if you know something, you wouldn't be sitting here in Ghana. You would be somewhere else. If you observe, you hardly find Ghanaians or Africans who have done something wonderful on the African continent. Most Africans who are doing wonderful things are doing it outside because you don't get the environment. So it's not as if academics are not doing anything. They go to these guys, they talk to them, but then the people are not interested. They feel like this is not something they should worry themselves about. They feel like it's not their domain. And more importantly, what is even more interesting is that if even they won't listen to you, at least they could support some form of research that will end up promoting their own industry. Because we have a lot of industries in Ghana. We have the MTNs, we have the Tigos, we have the Vodafone, Ghana, and all those things. But let's ask ourselves, how many of the technologies that they are using on those platforms are actually coming from Ghana? They buy all from outside. So what happens is that you train students, and the students don't even have the opportunity to interact with these people. So these people don't even see what is coming from the academia. So what happens is that within the academic industry, academia also feels like, let's stay in our corner, let's train our students, let's do what is important for us so that we can build our profiles. And then those in the industry feels like these are a bunch of people who are just interested in read, and write. And then they are not giving any feedback to us. So that don't let us deal with them. Anytime somebody tries to push, you will see that it's not really working. Thank be to God. Recently, some Ghanaian organizations have started seeing the need for discussing with the academia. I think currently there is even something going on between Food and Drugs Board putting a research fund available that anybody who can come out with so and so. I mean, that is how we should move. That is how we will start seeing the synergy between the two industry. Yeah.
Do you think there are any advantages if we can really set up a very good structure where our Ghanaian, the successful Ghanaian personalities or businesses are integrated into our curriculum, where students are going to learn from their own people? Do you think there are any advantages that is connected to
advantage?
That?
It's a super advantage. I mean, you have known me for a long time. You even know that I'm called Africa. I believe in Africanism. I believe in we having our own context and our own content, because everything in life has a reason. There's a reason why I have a black skin. There is a reason why I'm a Ghanaian. We don't have to feel inferior. Our biggest challenge is that we feel inferior. And this is a systemic thing that makes us experience this kind of attitude. So if we can tell the good stories of Africans, it will be a blessing. It will be a blessing, because it will motivate, it makes you feel, or it makes you see that it is not all about bad stories. Now, if you look at some of the stories about Africa that are used for cases, interestingly, that are written by foreigners, it is always the bad story. So in Africa, it's the bad story. Every time it's the bad story. But there are some good examples, super good examples that has happened on this continent. That it's a flagship example. For instance, when you go to Kenya, M-Pesa, and it's not only Kenya. When you pick the African continent, it's one of the continents that have done fantastically well on mobile money.
Yes.
Most developed countries have tried this mobile money concept and it's not really working. But Africans are doing it, and we are doing fantastic to the point that we are even collapsing banks with the mobile money concept. But then who is telling this story? That is the thing. Who is telling this story? No one is telling this story. If we keep making people aware that there are stories like this that are pointers, then it gives people hope. It makes people know that it's not an issue of every time we do something we fail. That is not the issue. But the challenge is, how do we go about it? It beats our imagination that, like you say, no one is sitting down to come out with blueprints. Perhaps there may even be blueprints that is listing how we can go about this and solve it. But nobody is taking the action. No one. There will be roundtable conferences. There will be a lot of talks about it. People will discuss it. And then at a point, it will vanish into thin air. So that has been our challenge. It's not as if it's a fantastic thing. It's a fantastic idea. I would have loved to hear that as I learn in school, I will be hearing scientists. I did mathematics as my first degree. From my first year to final year, I never heard anything about Allote's effect. But Allote's effect was a concept that Professor Allote came up with. But we spoke about all the different concepts. So these are the things. We don't talk about our own things because we don't even believe it. In some situations, look, every PhD holder has done a peculiar type of research, and he's a master of something. And he has definitely come up with either a theory, a model, or a framework or something. Interestingly, if you come to Africa, even the lecturers are not talking about their own work.
So, look, some of these things, I think that we need to really talk about solutions, because what you are saying now is more of a mindset issue. And this mindset is, we hate everything about us, but we love everything foreign, right? So a Ghanaian starts something that is benefiting us, but we don't patronize, but we prefer to patronize an outside person who is doing the same thing. Now, if we don't inculcate the culture of really using our own, investing in our own, having the pride in our own, then where are we going? Because we are in 21st century. when is it going to start?
You see, it's for me, I would not want to blame those in business, but I think they have a big role to play. They hold the money. They hold the money and they drive the force. It's about time these big shots in Africa start looking at investing in African research. It's very, very relevant. I know some are doing it. Dangote is doing a lot of stuff with Bill Gates and Melinda on polio and stuff like that, investing in research to eradicate polio and stuff. So some are doing it, but the quantum is not appreciative. It is actually not making us come out to do the things that we need to do. So researchers, you see, the research activity itself is difficult. And then you need a lot of funds. It's very, very expensive. You need someone to actually fund the activities that you are going to perform. So if you don't get that support from the industry and you are waiting for, or you are trying to use your money, I can tell you about 70% of academics in Ghana who do research use their own money. Nobody's sponsoring them. They use their own money. The other 30% who are getting some funds are actually getting it outside the country. They are not getting any research money from the government. They are not getting any research money from these entrepreneurs. Meanwhile, when they produce results, these entrepreneurs tap into it and they use it. So the challenge is that it's about time we start rethinking how some of these people can support the activities of the classroom. Then once we start doing that, then we can, it will bring out the mindset. The story in the classroom will now be Ghana, Africa, Ghana. You see, that is how it goes. When I go to classroom,
that's how it should be, isn't it?
Yes, but the point is that I don't have the Ghanaian stories to tell, and I cannot speculate. And you see, let me explain something. So one other thing is people are getting confused about is that research is business. Research is business. Now let me sound more positivist, or just think deep and ask yourself, what is the key name, the Ghana name, Ewe name for atom? But we know the key name for Genesis, isn't it? We know the key name for Exodus, but you don't know the key name for helium. You don't know the key name for molecule. Are these things triggering something in our brains? These are the sort of questions that we should ask, because the person who sponsored the translation of the Bible is a foreigner and he has special interests. That same guy has no interest in translating the four-figure table. That same person has no interest in translating the atomic table. That same person has no interest in translating science books. So if we want to have our contest, then somebody should stand up and say that, look, I also want to sponsor the translation. Somebody should stand up and say, I want to sponsor the translation of maybe mathematics into P. We all do differentiation. How do we say differentiation in P? I'm telling you, if you start teaching mathematics with P, you will see that about 90% of Ghanaians are super mathematicians. The problem is that the language. So if we don't get the right people, but we don't expect that Isaac Wiafe sitting here will be able to do that, because I don't have the money. I teach in a classroom where everything that I'm using is being sponsored by Bill Gates. I'm doing this, it's being sponsored by IBM. So I cannot take all this sponsorship and then come and talk about somebody else. On this platform, when you started the program, you never mentioned Coca-Cola because they are not sponsoring you. So this is what I think the Ghanaian entrepreneurs should get clear. They should take an interest. I am telling you, most researchers are ready to do these studies, but then they don't have the money. It is expensive. Even when they use their own money, the doors are not open for them. I have taken it upon myself to take students to some of these media houses for my multimedia class to have a feel of how these gadgets are. And I'm telling you, they will not even welcome you. That is the challenge. So I don't want to put all the blame on them, but I think they have a big role to play. As for the discussion, we know we've talked about it. Knowledge transfer, knowledge exchange, whatever, all those documents. But somebody needs to push. And every time when there's a need to push, it's about money. And that is where we cannot pull the money.
Do you think foreign universities use African stories to teach or case studies?
Yes, they do. They tell the bad stories. They tell the bad stories. They tell the people the bad stories. Because the interesting thing is that most of the bad stories, they have interest in them. And when you write about a bad story in Africa, it sells. And if you like, let me digress a little bit. Look at the movie industry, right? And you see that almost every foreign movie that is done about Africa portrays a bad story about Africa, and it sells. If you like, do a movie about Africa, let a Ghanaian do a movie on a sci-fi, and you see that nobody will watch it. So we tell the bad story. And the bad story sells. Whatever is happening in our normal lives is the same thing that is happening within the academic industry. It's not as if it's something special. It's a reflection at a higher level. So when they talk about us, they talk about the bad stories. They talk about systems that have failed, how some projects, I'm into IT, so let me talk about IT, how some IT projects fail. If they talk about their stories, they will tell you how it ended up being better. So when you talk about Heathrow Terminal 5, we all know that Heathrow Terminal 5 was a big failure, which is recorded in the books of the book of Project of Shapes. But then when they are finishing, then they'll tell you that the project turned around and became a very good success. So when you are teaching project management, when you are teaching software engineering or systems analysis and design, and you pick that case, you have something to talk about. But then you will not have any story in Ghana to talk about the implementation of ID card system in Ghana, because they will not even open up to you. All the information is hidden. So if I want to talk about how the ID card system or the digital addressing system was implemented in Ghana, all the knowledge I have is the same as what the ordinary person has read in the dailies. If I go there, they will not give me anything. So that is the thing.
Because what you are saying really reminds me of a young lady that I interviewed, and we were talking about blogging in Ghana and in Africa. And I said, why are they much interested in really blogging about the negatives, but not the positives? And there is an answer that she gave that really has stuck with me all this time. And that is, we are feeding what the people want. And she cited an example, so many examples of where she has written something good and nobody read. But the moment you pick a bad story, then they are flooded with comments, shares, and likes. And it all comes back. I don't even want to stay on the mindset anymore. But then you made mention of information, right? Now, we don't find even information of the successful people on even online. It's very difficult. And let me tell you this. I do a lot of public speaking, right? And sometimes when I'm speaking in the context of Africa, I want to use African examples. But trust me, sometimes you search online for a whole long time, you will not find one. So you don't have no option than to go back to the Bill Gates, go back to the all these foreigners and use them as an example. Now, how can this narrative also be changed when it comes to information that we need about these successful people, even if we are not even using it in the classroom? How can we really bring this forward?
I believe they should open up. They should open up and tell us whether they are secret. I mean, we don't want to talk about mindset, but see, that's in Ghana, everything is a secret. It always get back to mindset. In Ghana, everything is a secret. In Ghana, everything is a secret. Now, you go to any even the academic industry, go to a university, and the procedures are not clear. It is not written anywhere. The procedures are not written anywhere. So you have to ask. So I don't know, we believe in that Bible quotation, ask and it shall be given. Everything you ask, everything you ask. Meanwhile, in developed countries, all that you have to do is You will read. When you go there, the procedures are there. You don't even have to ask anyone. And then you see, move to this line, get this, that is the process. That is the problem we have here. If you go and you try to even interact, like I'm saying, you try to interact, get information from these people, you don't get it. If it is the media that goes to them, they might probably grant interviews and talk to them. But go to them as a researcher and say that I'm doing a study and I want to understand how you made your money. The person may be thinking that you are even trying to investigate him. He will probably not even give you the facts. So if they will not even open up, at least they should open, or they should have websites where they write things about them. This will not be too expensive, hiring somebody to write about you or something like that, putting such information online. At least if the information is online and there is reference to it, I can use it to teach in the classroom. Because when students ask, where did you get this information? I'll be able to tell them, go to so and so website, and it's there. Whether the website is even credible or not is another story, but at least there's a point of reference. So I think that it's also about time. If they cannot get involved with, or they cannot support us in doing research, if they cannot, I still expect that they should also have their own web pages where they are talking about them. Look, when we brought this topic up, I decided to do some small research, and you can check and correct me. I checked someone like Osekwame Despite. Almost every Ghanaian knows him, and everybody knows him as a rich person. And we have a story in speculation. I tried getting this information online, went to Google Scholar. I saw 2 documents, and both documents were published within the last 2 years by some scholars in Lagos. And even that, they don't have details. They don't have details. The story is not detailed enough. So that is the issue. Even though we can try, unless you give me the information, it is different where there are certain information that it's easier to fish out. So you can do research, ask around, and then put things together, and you have something to talk about. But when it comes to personal life, there are some nitty-gritty, some simple things that perhaps the person did that is very, very different, that he needs to tell you personally. Else you will hear the same story. It will be the same story that we all know. So I think they should. I don't want to put the blame on them. I think we should all push. But I feel like in this situation, it's about time the African entrepreneur, the successful ones, start looking within the academic industry, making good use of them. We should be made, or we should be forced to do research that benefits us than doing research that benefits the West.
So let me ask you this. So why don't we start it from here? Now look at T2I TV UK. We are just fresh. We are, I have done like interviews the last 10 years, but this is a platform that we have instituted ourselves, right? We are very young, and we are the ones that are really bringing such discussion. Don't you think if our media is really interested in things like this, this is the time for them to fish information from us? Because I believe that if somebody, a media house in Ghana or maybe in Africa, goes to YouTube and listen to this discussion, I believe that if it is a foreign media, they will like, which platform is this? We would like to interview this guy and see the idea behind what he's trying to do. But for us, we don't like it when businesses start as a seed. Our media doesn't want to know. We only like it when it is cooked. So I think, don't you think that is what has brought the gap of information that we need to really bridge that gap?
You see, Oscar, you see, what is more interesting is that you see that everything is still centering around mindset. And sometimes I don't know how we can whoever managed to get us to this stage is very, very clever. Honestly, whoever managed to sow the seed in Africa to get us to this stage and the way we think and our thought patterns is very, very clever. And we need a similar person who is of that type of thinking to rewind everything. You talk about media. Now, look at the discussions that goes on our radio station. I've stopped listening to radio. And when I tell people I stop listening to radio, they kind of feel like I have a problem. And I tell them, no. When you want to live long in Africa, stop listening to radio. Because about 70% of the things that they put on radio is completely irrelevant. If you want to talk about finance and you bring a politician with first degree to come and talk about state finance, if you want to talk about COVID and you bring a politician to come and sit and you expect me, at least I know that there are certain things that you need certain details before you can talk about it. Else, all the things that you'll be talking about it is just how do I put it? It's just about you are only speaking your perspectives, and that is not scholarly. We need people who understand the thing. The reason why we're having this in the media is that everybody, let's be honest, everybody in Africa, or let me talk about Ghana, is scared of the media. Because if they do something wrong and then you talk about it, they come on you heavily. It's like it's a cartel, and they can descend on you and they will finish you. So everybody is scared about them. But the fact is that they are not doing what they are supposed to do. Supposing GBC, TV, Joy, and all those guys are discussing issues, and then they bring people from the academia to come and sit and do discussions. These are not politicians. You don't even bring politicians. Let the politicians do their work. Bring these guys to the platform. Let them talk. And then you will see that they will come out with what is relevant. What the media doesn't know is that there are three authorities. There are three authorities on earth. And you may belong to all, or you may belong to one or two. And these authorities are research and education, that is scholarship, politics, and religion. Everything on earth falls under one of these three. All these three authorities are fighting for a particular position. So every matter that you have on earth, if you bring these three authorities to talk about it, they will manage to give you something. But what people forget is that when you pick religion, the religious guy will give you the spiritual perspective. If you pick the politician will tell you sweet things and tell you lies. The only person who is ready to face the facts is the scholar or the researcher. So that is why when it comes to matters of interest, you don't go and bring politician. Let the politician be there doing the governance, but bring the academic to come and digest the thing so that the ordinary person will understand what is going on. But that is not what the media is doing. So at the end of the day, researchers are, the bottom line is that researchers are sidelined, and people are forgetting that we are humans. So if we feel like we are not part of a system, we follow what we do. So I don't think people can blame us to that extent, even though we have a role to play. But I don't think people can blame us too much.
Because when I want to add to what you are saying, when you watch the BBCs and the CNN and the Al Jazeera's, when it comes to critical issues that really needs research, needs an in-depth analysis, they bring people from the Oxford, from the Yale, to come and do those discussions. But for us, probably we will bring somebody to even come and talk about spiritual issues when it is more of religion. So I think you are right. We are not really separating the issues for each and everyone to know where they stand. And I think that is a problem. But to really move to the next level of my question, now, do you think the kind of things we teach in the classroom, our curriculum flooded with foreign examples, and we trying to teach things that our students are not aligned with, do you think is the reason why we churn out students who come out and one, they don't have the right mindset, two, they don't know what they are doing, three, it looks like there is no opportunity even in the country, so somebody can stay at home for 5 years without looking for a job, and that person is looking for a way out of the country. Now, how can we change this? Do you think that is the problem? Because of
it's a big problem. It's a big problem. So I grew up learning about learning how to sing London Bridge is Falling Down, isn't it? I never saw London Bridge until I was 36 years. What relevance? We have Akosomo Dam. Why wouldn't we see Akosomo Dam is falling down? You see, these are the simple things that we do that changes the thinking. The moment you start portraying something in the classroom from the basic level, what are we talking about? What are the stories that we are using at the basic level? If at the basic level we are talking about things that makes it look at things that makes it feel like it's all glossy. I remember there was a time, sorry, I'll be using vernacular on a platform, but I remember there was a time someone was telling me that there is this phrase, tuntum broni. I don't know whether you've heard it. Tuntum broni. So someone was saying tuntum broni. I told the guy, it's not tuntum broni. You see, our mindset is so damaged that we don't even, it's tuntum brane or brane. But then you see, come to my own University of Ghana. There is a hall there known as Akwafu Hall. I don't know whether I've heard about that hall.
Yeah, Akwafu, yeah.
The actual name for that hall is Akwafu Hall. You find academics calling the place Akwafu Hall. We cannot even say Akwafu. You see where the problem is. So it is rooted in everything. It's not only the classroom. When you are training a child, right? About the child spends less than 40% of his daily activities in the classroom. About 60% is in their homes. Go to most Ghanaian homes and they are speaking English with their kids. So what you see, we are not facing fast. And then people will tell you that because of internationalization. I say, please, no. If a child is good in languages, he is good in languages. If she is good in languages, he is good in languages. She can learn 15 languages and speak all very well. So I don't see the reason why you should be speaking English with your child at home. Speak your local language. The child will learn the proper language at school. So sometimes everything is not really to do with school. Education starts from the home. So if we are changing things, we should change the way we perceive things. We should change the way we make things feel like when you are telling your child or you are trying to motivate. I've seen a lot of parents trying to motivate their kids, and then it goes like, try and learn so that one day you also go abroad. You see, the statements, it looks as if they are very simple statements, but that is what you are telling the child. In a classroom, a teacher may tell the child that you people, you have to learn so that you can get a scholarship abroad. You see, these are the things. Ask ourselves. Most Africans are going outside for scholarship, and the best brains are going outside. And this is one thing that we are not even thinking about. If we go back hundreds of years later, the civilization of the time, or the thousands of years ago, civilization of the time during those days was slavery, wealth. If you have more slaves, you have more money. These same people managed to use us. Now, currently, the civilization of the time is about information, knowledge. And what we are forgetting is that because the Ghana government or the African countries cannot provide scholarship locally for us to train our people locally and give them local content to solve African problems, we are moving all our best brains abroad. Oh, so you are there, and then UK, US is giving scholarship to 50,000 students from Africa, and you think it's just helping you? I mean, you should ask yourself questions. They are siphoning the brains. When they go there, the type of research that they do has nothing to do with Africa. It has nothing to do with Africa. So it's an issue of, if you come down to the classroom, basic level classroom, let's start from class 1. Let's change the curriculum. Let's change the curriculum in class 1. Let's change the curriculum in class 2. Let the children start learning African pride. We should let the children start learning things in Africa. There should be a reason for everything that we take. Why should students go to school? Once I was asking someone, I am this thing. I don't have facts, but it's just logical. I ask myself, why do we start school in September? Because UK starts school in September, isn't it? So we also start school in September. Does it make sense? Now go back to the UK and ask yourself, what is the coolest month in UK? The coolest month in UK is somewhere in January. Most children are born in September. So by September, every September, we get a lot of children being 1 year. So more people are born in September. Perhaps that is why they decided to start school at September. When you come to Ghana, coolest month is August. Most people are born in May. So why are we starting school in September? These are the questions that we should be asking. We do cut and paste. Have you ever seen a plaster that is of black skin before? Have you asked yourself, why is that the color of a plaster? Why is it looking like that? So if a white man puts a plaster on the skin, it does not show. If a black man puts a plaster on the skin, it shows. How many years now, and we have never developed our own plaster, common plaster.
But look at our judges.
Please, you cannot offend the court.
But I think there is a huge problem, and I think some of these discussions, at least if you can get one person to change it, for me that is a fulfillment, right? And that is one thing I always, in this platform that we've created, there's one thing that cuts across in every discussion. It doesn't matter the topic. There will be a flash of mindset in every topic, because this platform has now been engineered for the African continent and those in the diaspora. And before, I was interviewing white people, Asians, but now I've strategically positioned to interview 99% of our people. And even other people that I bring on the platform, it means that they've got an alliance with the continent, so they can share things that is going to benefit us. But there is one thing that comes across, and it's always mindset, almost every single discussion. And I had one of our friends in school. He came to visit me and my missus in London, and he made a statement. We were talking about children, and he said his children does not speak Cree. And since that day, my wife doesn't like the guy anymore. Why? Because we abroad are struggling to teach our children how to speak Cree. You are living in Ghana and you say your children does not speak Cree. And I think this is the down moment of our mindset. This is the down moment. Wiafe, let me tell you this. I worked in the NHS for 7 years, right? And I always felt guilty when the Asians bring their grandmothers to the hospital. They are the ones who interpret for their grandmothers in English when they are speaking in their Indian language. And I always felt so bad that my children cannot speak my local language. And I'm like, so when I'm old in this country, who is going to really support me the way this young person is supporting the grandmother? I think we have lost this totally. Do you think there is a way back?
Never try to wake somebody up when the person is pretending to be asleep. You can never wake somebody up when the person is pretending to be asleep. That is the situation we have in Africa. We are pretending to be asleep. So it's not as if, you see, that's why I say we love to lament. We love to lament. The solution is simple. Look, about 70% of the problems of Africa have been solved in the classroom. If not 90%, it has been solved in the classroom. If a particular government comes and he says that, okay, I'm going to one university and I'm going to pick student projects and form a committee, just as they are able to form all these committees to look at student projects, I'm telling you, by the time they finish, they'll have solutions to everything. As far back as the year 2000, my roommates who did architecture designed electronic trains for the whole Kumasi city. That was his project. I am not saying that it will be a perfect system, but that is where it starts from.
Of course, we need to start from somewhere.
That is where it starts from. So we are only pretending. We are only pretending we want to solve the problem, but we are not ready. We are not ready to solve the problem. Look at the whole of Accra. How many mayors haven't we have that have talked about cleanliness of Accra? Yet one thing still pertains. It looks as if we are digressing too much from our main discussion. Yes. It's bad. Like everything ends up being an issue of mindset, and it sometimes is very, very worrying. It's not as if the solutions are not there. Sometimes when you talk about the solutions, it's so simple. It's not rocket science. It's so simple. But then the issue is that we are not ready to start. We are not ready to start. That is the problem that we have now. If we are ready to kickstart, put in place measures, start talking about African stories, putting them in a textbooks, discussing it, then there will be something for us. But then open the books, we are not talking about African stories, even the type of colors that we are using in our books and all those things. There was a time one radio presenter asked a very interesting question, that why do we have the eagle on the coat of arm? We actually have a lot of eagles in Ghana. And he was actually saying that the coat of arm is actually plagiarized. So you see, if you look at, seriously, if you start looking at details, you see a lot of pointers. You see a lot of pointers that is not really interesting. You ask yourself, why are we doing a particular thing? Is there a reason? Have we done some research? Have we investigated into it? Business is not investing in research. Researchers are doing something for outsiders. About 70 to 80% of the work that we are doing in the academia are for foreigners. I have in my computer science department, I think last year or last 2 years, I have students working on Internet of Underwater Things. Students in Ghana doing research on Internet of Underwater Things. Marvelous. But the question is, when they finish this research, interestingly, okay, so let me say it this way. When they started talking about this research, no Ghanaian institute is really interested in it, no organization. But the French embassy was so much interested in it. Now, when they finish, do you want them to implement it in Ghana? These are the things. So you find a lot of brainy stuff being done by our students. But then when you finish, they pick it up. Why is it that majority of our students go outside and they are doing fantastic? Super fantastic. But then within our own domain, they are not able to come out with their best. And the problem is simple. Those who have the money, yes, there are some, I wouldn't want to say that they are not investing in academia at all. But when they bring the money into endowment funds and things like that, it drops into the big account of the university. The university decides to use it for whatever they want. But I would want to see that despite Pakwesi Ndum, I think Macaulay, McDan, he is doing certain, yes. So I want to see McDan say that, look, when I look at the applications that are used in managing shipping industry in Ghana, it's too cumbersome. People are not understanding it. I want it to be localized. I am putting a grant of 500,000 Ghana cedis, sponsor about 3 or 4 PhD students within Ghana. Let people apply for the grant. And then when they win it, for the next 4 years, they are coming up with this solution. They will definitely get you something better. I want to see the government himself saying that, look, we want to come out with a digital addressing system. We are putting this amount of money down. Any university that is able to come out with a proposal that will address this thing, I'm going to give them money. That is how you develop local content. So that the research that I have to do now, I am forced to, because I need to get money for my research, and I'm forced to. When we get all our brainy students, when brainy students come to me, I have a lot of students who come to me very, very smart, very smart. In fact, you will not believe it. That undergraduate students and master students, their type of thinking, analytical level, and then they are talking to you, and the next thing you are telling them is that, have you looked at the scholarship site to see if you can get a scholarship at UK?
Because nothing is happening in the country, isn't it?
Exactly. You know that if you don't tell the students this and let the student move out, brains are going to be wasted. Because most students who are brainy, actually in Africa, most students who are brainy are poor. Most students, nobody understands this, but most students who are brainy are poor. So if the industry does not start something like that, if they can even start taking our students on internships, if they can have some partnership with us, if we can have some knowledge exchange. But unfortunately, and it's sad to say this, all that we hear from them is fighting for honorary doctorates. So every Ghanaian becomes rich, and the next thing he's looking for is to be called a doctor. Anyway, the problem is deep.
But this is complicated, isn't it?
Exactly.
So it looks like we cannot fault one party.
No.
But time is fast spent, but I want you to ask you this. I know we've got tremendous challenges. We've got very huge problems. From what we have discussed, it looks like there is no way out. But I believe that we can always start from somewhere. Where do you think we can start from?
There need to be this is what I've seen. I may be wrong, but this is one thing that I've seen about our country. We need a presidential initiative. We need a presidential initiative. I've observed that every time there's a presidential initiative, the president is interested in something. At least it moves to a level. Let's look at Galamsey. When the president started with that initiative, within a very short time, we saw the changes. Then things dropped. So we need a presidential initiative. We need a president who will come out vocally and say, please, I want the industry to involve academics. I want to give tax cuts to every organization in Ghana who is ready to sponsor this amount of research. Then you see people start doing that. If I'm seeing tax cuts, if people can get some tax cuts, they can get some reliefs, they can get some special benefits because an organization is sponsoring a particular study in a university or things like that, then immediately people, the guy is a businessman. Anything that will give him money is what he's interested in. If he knows that he can find a way and make more money, then the person will be interested in it. We need that. Apart from that, another thing that will help this thing happen is we have to strengthen our laws, particularly when it comes to protecting property rights. If I've spoken to some entrepreneurs and some top businessmen informally, and they will tell you the reason why they are not ready to sponsor any research. They will tell you that if I come out with a very wonderful idea today, the next day somebody on the street will start the same idea and I can stop that person. You remember Cocoa King? Somebody started the idea of Cocoa King. The next day everybody was packaging cocoa like that and selling it. So if the person has invested in research to come out with the whole concept of Cocoa King, he has lost it. He won't make any money. So most of the things, even though it is a connection between the industry and the academia, I think the mediating role should be played by government. If government need not do a lot, but just pull some small strings and say that if you are sponsoring this type of research, I'll give you this type of discount on your tax or tax relief. If you come out with this, we will ensure that your property right is protected, and then we come out with some quick judiciary system, and that will. We need something like that. But if we keep talking, we'll keep talking about the same thing. That we need to change. We need to talk to the no. We need to have some practical moves. It may not be big. We can start little by little, and then we will get there. We are not expecting to get there tomorrow, but then I believe that government can start an initiative that will serve as a motivating factor for these guys to start working. As for the academia, I'm telling you, they are ready because that's what they do. Once there is money that they can tap into it, and then use that money to do research, they are fine. The only benefit that they get is that when they finish, they would have published a paper and say that I did this research. It's not about the financial gains. But then when they do that, the credit goes to a particular organization. Somebody gets the benefits of that knowledge and uses it to improve his organization. So I think that is how it should go.
Now, I want you to touch briefly on leadership, because all these things stems from leadership. And I always give my typical example. I always say that, for example, when you look at the United Kingdom, all the parliamentarians and all these Boris Johnson, they either went to Yale, Harvard, Oxford. They went to the top university. So when it comes to knowledge-based, they are there, right? Now, this is where ours, an MP, just because he's got money, but has got nothing in here in terms of knowledge, becomes an MP making policies for us. And for me, I think this is very backward. And Wiafe, let me tell you this. If you, for example, you are sitting here, you want to be an MP, probably you might not have the resources to even compete. Because those that are not qualified have got the resources to really do what? To really take you out of the sea. So how can we build a formidable leadership that understand, even let's even talk about current trends when it comes to now how technology is driving the economies of the world. I'm here sitting in London, you are here sitting in Accra, we are having a formidable discussion just because of technology. Do our leaders even understand the technological level and the drive that is happening in the ecosystem of the world, that they can even work on it for us to even get to where we want to be? You are even in the technological space. Look at the gap between where we are and the Western world. And are we even ready to even catch up? But I think all this boils down to leadership. Talk to me about leadership.
Yes, I agree with you. I agree with you perfectly. But there is one thing that we need to appreciate, that you see, a leader of every group is a true representation of the members of the group. So the type of leaders we are getting represents the majority of Ghanaians that we have. So we have to face facts. That is what is happening. That is why you see those leaders there. If that is not true, look, I have to be honest. I tell people there's no, I don't know, but have you observed that those who make the cities of Accra, I don't know about other places, but the cities of Accra, those who make the cities of Accra very, very dirty are politicians.
Why?
I want to prove to the politicians. I wish I can have a discussion with one of them. Go through Accra and you see all their posters all over. So during election, people paste posters everywhere, make the whole of Accra nasty just because you want to be an MP. When you finish, how many of them go back to take those posters from the places? Yet they want us to vote for them as MPs. And I tell people that until I find a politician who will do an advert that is clean, what I mean by clean is he's following environmental procedures, I'm not going to vote for anyone. Because that is the first thing that I want to see in a leader. If you are coming to say that I am going to change Accra, make Accra nice, and the method that you are using, you come to power to change Accra, is to paste your posters all over Accra. You don't have any form of communication. You paste your posters on dustbins, on roads, on streets. Look, drive from Adenta to Accra, and you see torn NPP, NDC flags that have been hanging there, very dirty.
For so many years.
Exactly. And you see, so that is why I tell you that the type of leadership that we have is a true representation of the people that we have. If people will start trying to do the things that they need to do, if leaders will see the need to be radical and say that this is wrong and we must change it, we will not move anywhere. We need people who are ready to change. I don't really believe that we need people who are highly educated or to be MPs and stuff like that. No. But I believe that we need people who have demonstrated certain qualities. There should be a demonstration of qualities. It's not loud mouths. It's not about talking. We have a situation where our leadership system is selected by the person that people likes most, but it's not the best thinker. That is the type of system that we are having. We've not seen whether the person has gone through the mill. The person has gone through challenges. And the most annoying part is I'm staying with somebody in an area. He's my next door. I wake up every morning. I greet him. He greets me. Nobody's ready to kill him. The next day, he stands as an MP in my area. He becomes an MP. He gets a security guard. He gets a V8. Everything about him changes. That person does not sit in Trotro anymore. So he doesn't even understand what goes on in Trotro. I tell my students who drive that once in a while, park your car, sit in Trotro. That is where you are becoming a Ghanaian. Yes. That is where you understand what 90% of Ghanaians are going through. If you sit in your car, so look, we have, I don't know whether you when you come to Ghana, you come across this thing. You find an MP driving through traffic, or disobeying all traffic rules, and his excuse is that he is late to Parliament. That person will be fired from Parliament.
Who cares?
It's not even an issue of who cares. If I am to teach and my class starts at 9:30. Then I move from the house at 9:30 with the excuse that I am late to work. And I am a leader. So you see, these are the issues. If the president moves, count the number of cars that follows him and do the calculations, how much petrol we are wasting. If the vice president moves, count the number of cars and fuel we are wasting. And we don't see. I am waiting for a president that will come and say that I am not even going to drive in a V8. I'm going to use one vehicle, and that will change the mindset. Have you observed that every Ghanaian is the first thing that every young Ghanaian start thinking about is to buy a car. Very, very nice car. Meanwhile, if you think about it, who is portraying this? We look at our leaders. If I see my president driving the most expensive car, I feel like if I also get a car, then you see, these are the concepts. If you live in a house, you do what your daddy does. So our leaders should try and learn how to be moderate. If they can do that, I think it will change a lot of things. It will change a lot of things.
You made a statement, and I'm like, wow, because I used to be on a Clapham Junction, a southern train to Hounslow. I used to work on that route, so I was using that train. And I met Boris Johnson very few times. That time he was an MP with his backpack in the train, either sitting down or sometimes standing, going to wherever he's going.
Yes. But
for hours, how can an MP be in a train or in a public transport? They are beyond it. And look,
exactly. Not to cut you. Let me give you an example. In that situation, because Boris Johnson have been sitting in a train, someone like David Cameron have been sitting in a train. Yes. They understand what goes on in the train.
Yes.
If he goes to Parliament and there are issues with the train, he is going to make sure that they address it because it affects him. Let me use one leader that we've had in this country who is fantastic. I mean, people will say a lot of things against that man, but I like that man. That is in the person of Professor Ade, the man who made Gimpa what Gimpa is. So Professor Ade is somebody who will join the queue for food. He will be in the queue with the students through the cafeteria. Now, because he was doing that, the people working at the cafeteria know that the man is likely to be in the queue. So they treat everybody equally. Because you don't know when it will get to his turn. You see, that is true leadership. by example. You will see him walking on campus like an ordinary person. But then when we do we and them, have you observed that even in our universities, everywhere, excuse me to say this, but we have a toilet facility for lecturers and a toilet facility for students, a toilet facility for professors. I don't know whether you've been observing this kind of funny things. When you go to an organization, there's a toilet facility for the MD and a different. Come on, are we not human beings? Do they produce different fecal matter? Are there differences in the fecal matter that we all produce? If the head of the institution is using the same toilet facility as the student, he will know the problems that the students are going through. So he will make sure that one is fixed. Once he is doing something else, you allow the janitor to clean yours very well, and then with the student, he doesn't care. So when you go and you tell them that this is what is happening,
they don't know.
He doesn't get it because he knows that every time his is clean. So when you are telling him that, oh, the guy does not clean the place, and he calls the guy says, oh, no, I've been cleaning, but I've been cleaning yours. He says, yes, I'm wondering. Don't worry, the student, they keep messing the place up. Yes, the student, you are employed because the student will mess the place up for you to clean. So that is not an excuse. So leadership is really killing us. As for leadership, I don't think we even have to bring it on this platform. We don't have to. We all know. Africa is a continent blessed with a lot of mineral resources, rich ideas, and we are cursed with leaders. That is Africa.
Dr. Isaac Wiafe, I've enjoyed every single bit of this discussion. And if you are watching us, look, there is one thing I want you to do for us. Share this, right? I know we are used to sharing comedy. We are used to sharing entertainment stuff, politics, and sports. But when it comes to educational stuff, we find it so difficult to really press the button to share. Share this for somebody to watch this, because these are the kind of discussions that we bring it to you on the regular basis. And trust me, I've enjoyed every bit of it. Now, also, if you are watching this for the first time and you enjoy this discussion, this is what we do every Tuesday, Thursday, and on Saturdays, 8 p.m. GMT. And we bring the lives of Dr. Wiafe on our program. We have set a high standard. So there are some people, I contact them. I'm thinking that we contact them. We are thinking that, oh, this person can come. But when they look at the standard we have set, they always decline because they see that they have to exceed expectation. Because Dr. Wiafe has raised the bar today. Who is coming on Saturday? He's got a task in his hand because you cannot come and play. And this is what we are doing. We want to build a platform that is going to be an educational hub for the young people on the continent and everybody that cares to learn. And we can't do this on our own. We need your support. Like our page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, share this discussion for somebody to have an opportunity to really watch this program and grow with us. Because you see, when this discussion was, let's say it's an entertainment discussion, this place will have been flooded with over 1K views. But when it comes to education, our young people don't want to know, the older generation don't want to know, and this is why we are where we are. Because the things that matter that is going to help us to grow, we don't want to know. And that is the problem of the continent. I meet a lot of young people. For example, if I'm in Ghana and I'm doing a conference, and the conference is just costing 50 Ghana cedis, or maybe it's costing 100 Ghana. You see these young people who say they don't have money. But the same young people, when you go to Pizza Hut, they will be eating pizza of 100 Ghana cedis. Our priorities are totally wrong. The same young person will say, Oscar, I don't have data. I don't have data to come and watch you online. But the same person, another person will be insulting the president, and the same person will get data to watch. We want to change this narrative. We want to change this mindset. But we cannot do it alone. We can do it with your support. We can do it with your help. You see, they're talking of support. You can help anybody that is trying to climb a tree. Is to use your small scarce resources to support them. What is your small scarce resources in today's instance? Is to use your time to share. Use your time to comment so that Facebook opens it wide for people to watch. And you see, until we do this simple mindset change, we're going nowhere. Because you see, in Ghana, for example, now, there is not much platform that discusses issues like this. Let Mr. Wiafe goes to one of these big multimedia houses to talk about this pertinent and important discussion. They will not give him the platform. But they are going to give one counselor who will come and destroy our young people to come and talk nonsense, give them free airtime. It is about time we speak truth to power and try to change the mindset of this continent. I always say this, that if you are not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. For us, we want to be part of the solution in our own small way. We don't need to go and stand at parliament for us to be recognized. In our own small way, I'm saying this, Mr. Wiafe, Dr. Wiafe, all we are doing here is our own cost. But we believe that we want to contribute. And that is what anybody that wants to support anybody that is trying to climb a good tree, if anything you can do to help, you do to help. And I have seen that we always sit on the fence waiting for things to be better. So when Dr. Wiafe gets to the top, then everybody wants to have a piece of him. But when he was struggling down there, everybody was sitting on the fence. And until we change this, that I was speaking to a young person and I said, I helped somebody for 5 years with his business. And now the kind of benefits I'm getting for that help is so amazing. Why? Because I sacrificed. The help I helped that person, I didn't take $1 for 5 years. But today it's paying off. Why? Because that person has seen the need of what I did and the kind of things he's doing for me and the kind of vision I have is so amazing. We should learn to support each other. We should learn to grow as people. You don't see that if you help me and I succeed, because when you don't help a person that you can help and your time comes, that is where the struggle comes, because it's more like a karma. We have got young people on the continent who have started great things, but we never support them. Why? Because we have got a mindset that when you support that young person to be up there, you will still be where you are. You are totally wrong. Because sometimes one person you help can change your destiny as well. And this is the mindset we need to grow. I said the white people don't go to church, but the mindset they have is biblical. And that is why I think if rapture comes, if God have mercy, they'll be going to heaven and we'll be in the church and still be staying down. Why? Because of this mindset. We need to change it. Today, I've gone over my time because I've enjoyed the discussion. And trust me, I know you have also enjoyed it. Let me read some 1 or 2 comments that we'll get out of here. Now, we've got Amengu saying, we are afraid to fail. We have got Amingu also saying, Ghanaians for you. Teresa Mo says, misplaced priority. B. Ibrahim says, the fewer the merrier. Fr. Abeku says, great delivery, doc. And I've got Philomena saying, making wisdom go viral. Thank you, Dr. Wiafe. Then I have got so many comments, my brother, so many comments. People are falling in love with you. Teresa Mo says, this woman is great. Why don't you lead Ghana, then Sierra Leone? I don't know which one she's talking about. She also says, sad state of affairs with our continent. Materialism and fame and culture is killing us. I've got B. Ibrahim says, Oscar asks so sensible question. How could you? Thank God Wiafe is so much updated. That is very interesting. Thank you very much. Amigo says, sponsoring and funding brilliant ideas and research. Too many. Prince Omar Risafu says, discussions are what we need money to buy airtime for on the UTVs. Yes, yeah, we Adoms and Co to change the everyday Ghanaian. And you see, our system is not even allowing us. Look, when you go in on our TV now we don't have local content. We've got somebody from India and we have changed the language to ours. And we are so happy with it that we even go to market women to go and educate them, talk about the story. Why can't we talk about our own? I think we should bring this discussion to a close because we will not finish today. Wow. It's been wonderful having you, sir. I've enjoyed every bit of this.
Thank you.
Wow. Before I go, I want to talk about our sponsors. This program is sponsored by Train to Inspire Consultancy. That is your business training and consulting firm. They also work with students in relation to their personal development. Also, ALS Global Shipping and Logistics, your import and export company based in Accra. They say if you are stranded at the port, call them and they will sort you out. Also, ZPay Ghana Limited, your remittance and mobile money company limited. They just launched their USSD code in relation to mobile money. Just dial *270 on your phone and register for ZPay mobile money. Dr. Wiafe, it's been wonderful having you. What's your last word to everyone that is watching us?
Yeah, my last words, I've said it over and over again. I think we should change our mindset. We should believe in the African story. We should have a positive mind. We should try and support each other. We should see the little things that people do as things that would help us. I saw something about a typical British, and I think that is one thing that we did not pick from them. They prefer their local stuff. No matter how bad it is, they will polish it, they will improve it, and they will use it. I think it's about time researchers in Ghana and Africa are respected. Those in business should start looking inside their own organizations, identify problems that are happening within the organizations, bring it as research problems to academics, and let them tax them to solve it. And I think by so doing, researchers in Africa will start addressing African problems. But until we do that, until we stop focusing on getting solutions from outside, then all the fundings that are coming to the research industry will also be coming from outside. The solutions that Africans will develop will be foreign solutions. So I plead, I think this is a plea that we should start changing the way we address things in the business. We should start bringing problems to the classroom for scholars to solve it. I'm not saying that we have all the solutions, but then it is research. That is why it's research. We will try to address the problems and gradually we will improve this continent. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thanks for your time. You are a very busy person. I'm very, very grateful that you took your time, took time out of your busy schedule to be with us. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me on your program.
Wow.
Have a nice evening.
Wow. And for everyone that watched us, God richly bless you for spending your time with us. Saturday, we are here as well. We have got a powerful discussion that we're going to bring to you. That is 8 p.m. GMT, the same as Ghana time. So please don't change the dial on us. Always come back. If you loved it today, always come back. Don't forget to like our page on Facebook, T2I TV UK, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that when we come live, you will get an alert. God richly bless everybody and stay blessed. And also be very mindful of coronavirus. It's killing people. Don't mess around because look, where I live for the past 3 weeks, it has been killing over 1,000 people in 24 hours. And that is how bad it is. So if you are watching us, just be careful. Take all the protocols very seriously and let us stay healthy because this one too shall pass. But it depends on how we manage it for the best time to come. God bless everyone and see you on Saturday, 8 p.m. GMT. Thank you.
I am so excited because the Step Out TV shows are back live on T2I TV. And for those who don't know, Step Out is a series of interviews and motivational segments designed to bring the best out of you and your business. Therefore, we have the following TV programs. Our first TV program, which is our flagship program, dubbed Step Out with Oscar Bimpong,